You ever catch your cat just staring at you? Like really staring, no blinking, no movement, just those big eyes locked on you from across the room. You start wondering, are they plotting my downfall, or are they just weirdly affectionate? Let's talk about what's actually going on behind that mysterious feline gaze, because it's not as simple or as creepy as it looks. Here's the thing, cats rarely do anything for no reason. That stare, it's a form of communication. Sometimes it's affection, sometimes curiosity, and sometimes, yeah, they might be trying to tell you something, like feed me or why are you in my spot? Cats may not bark or whine like dogs, but their eyes speak volumes once you know what to look for. Let's start with a soft stare, the kind where your cat's eyes look relaxed, maybe half closed, and they slowly blink at you. That's basically a cat's way of saying, "Hey, I trust you." In cat language, blinking equals safety. In the wild, a cat won't close its eyes near someone it doesn't trust. So if your cat gives you those slow blinks, congratulations, you've earned a little feline love. Try blinking back slowly. You might look ridiculous, but it actually tells your cat, "I trust you too." Now there's the intense stare. You know the one. Wide eyes, totally focused. Maybe a bit unsettling if you're eating cereal and they're watching every bite. When a cat stares like that, it's usually curiosity. Cats are natural observers. They're taking in your movements, your tone, your patterns. You're basically their favorite reality show. That stare could just mean, what's this human doing now? But sometimes that fixed gaze comes with something more, like a twitching tail, flattened ears, or dilated pupils. That's your cue that your cat might be on alert or even a little agitated. Maybe they spotted another cat outside, or they're feeling overstimulated. Cats use eye contact in a very controlled way. So if the stare feels tense, it's not affection, it's focus, possibly on something they perceive as a threat. Let's talk about the bedtime stare. You're lying down, half asleep, and suddenly you sense it. You open your eyes, and there they are, perched on your chest, staring like a Victorian ghost. It's unsettling, sure, but most of the time it's harmless. Your cat could just be waiting for you to wake up because your morning routine means food. Or they just like being near you. Cats are crepuscular, meaning they're most active during dawn and dusk. So if they're staring at you at 5 a.m., they're not possessed, they're just hungry. Some cats also stare when they're trying to get your attention. They learn quickly that humans respond to eye contact. So if your cat sits in front of you, locks eyes, and meows, they've figured out the system. You look at them, they look at you. You move toward the treat drawer. It's like telepathy, but powered by snacks. Now here's a fun one. Some cats stare while kneading or purring. That's usually the most affectionate stare of all. They're relaxed, content, and maybe reminiscing about kittenhood, when they'd knead their mothers while nursing. If your cat does this while looking at you, it's basically their version of saying, "I love this spot, and you're part of my happy place." Of course, not every stare is emotional. Sometimes it's just instinct. Cats are predators, so staring is a built-in behavior. They're wired to observe movement. It's how they survive. So when you're cooking or typing or even brushing your hair, your cat might just be fascinated by all the motion, especially if you're holding something that rustles or glimmers, because in their eyes, that's prey behavior. Let's flip it for a second. What happens when you stare at your cat? Believe it or not, direct eye contact from a human can feel threatening to them, especially if they're not fully comfortable with you. Long, hard stares can make a cat anxious. So if you're trying to build trust with a shy or new cat, avoid prolonged eye contact. Give them gentle glances and those soft, slow blinks instead. Some owners notice their cats staring when they're upset or unwell too. Cats are sensitive to routines and energy changes. If you're sick, sad, or stressed, your cat might just be trying to figure out what's different about you. They pick up on tone, body language, even scent changes. It's their way of checking in that quiet, understated feline way. And yes, there are cats that just seem to stare for the sake of staring. It can look eerie, but if your cat's otherwise healthy and acting normal, it's probably just them zoning out. Kind of like when we scroll our phones and forget the world exists. Cats have moments like that too. They're just processing sounds, sights, and smells we barely notice. But if your cat's staring seems off, like it's paired with confusion, bumping into things, or dilated pupils that don't change with light, it might be worth checking with a vet. Eye problems or neurological issues can sometimes cause unusual visual behavior. Better to be safe than sorry. Here's a small tip if your cat stares a lot while begging for food. Don't always give in. Cats are excellent at training their humans, and that steady gaze is one of their best tools. If every stare ends in treats, you're reinforcing the behavior. Instead, reward them after they do something, like sitting calmly or coming when called. That way, the stare stays cute, not manipulative. And here's something funny. Some cats stare at walls or invisible corners. You might think they're seeing ghosts. Most likely, they're just detecting sounds or tiny movements that we can't perceive. Cats hear ultrasonic frequencies, so that nothing they're staring at could actually be a bug crawling behind the wall or a fake squeak miles away. Creepy? Maybe. But usually, it's just cat super hearing in action. Living with a cat means you'll always be a bit of a mind reader. Every tail flick, every blink, every long stare has meaning, sometimes deep, sometimes just feed me human, but that's part of what makes cats so fascinating. They're mysterious, but not impossible to understand once you know their cues. So the next time your cat locks eyes with you, don't panic. Look for context, their body language, their tail, their ears. Are they relaxed, curious, hungry? Once you start reading those signs, the mystery fades a bit. And what's left is actually pretty heartwarming. Because beneath that cool exterior, your cat's eyes are often saying, "I feel safe with you." So what about your cat? Do they give you the long, unblinking stare or the slow blink of trust? Let me know in the comments how your feline communicates. It's always fun hearing how different cats talk with their eyes. And if you learned something new today, give this video a like and subscribe for more insights into the strange, wonderful world of cats. Your cat might not say thanks, but trust me, they'll be watching.